wouldn't do is a no-fly zone. I think that's a huge mistake and endangers World War III. I would not close communication. So I would diplomatically engage. I would express our opinion. But the thing is I think war with Russia is a really bad idea, and I can tell you that the people in my party who are saying don't talk to Putin, have a no-fly zone, be prepared to use force against Russia, that's all very scary to me and the wrong approach.
All right, folks, joining us now is Gary Johnson, former governor of New Mexico and former Libertarian presidential nominee and presidential candidate for 2016. Why don't we ask him? Hello, sir.
Steve, great being with you.
Good to see you again. So you were here about a year ago, and you said that you
hoped to be the Libertarian nominee again in the next cycle.
2016.
And
so
I still hope to be the Libertarian.
Well, how does that happen? So you're running to be the nominee?
No, actually, life changes dramatically if you announce that you're going to run. So right now,
so you're
I
not
hope
running.
to run. I hope
you
to run.
hope to run.
Yeah.
Okay. So when will? How many people? Is anybody running in the Libertarian side?
Oh yeah,
right now?
there are probably a dozen or so that are running right now.
Okay.
And it's a process, just like the D's and the R's.
Okay. So walk me through that process a little bit. So when can you? How long could you hold out before you say I too am running, or do you think they'll turn to you? How does that work?
Well, so
we're a year away from the election.
Well, right. You could announce today. You could announce, if you were to announce, you could announce in February. It is a process. There is a convention, and you either get the nomination or don't.
Right. So you hope to run.
Hope to run and hope to get the nomination.
And hope to get the nomination.
Yeah,
so there are factors out there that would hold you back if you don't, but you want to run.
Right.
Yeah.
Barring famine or
is it money?
Flood.
Is it money kind of
thing? Well, no. I think last cycle demonstrated what we could do for $1 million. What I did for $1 million and got 1% of the vote.
Okay.
Obama, Romney each spent $1 billion. Do the math. Right. I mean, we were.
All right. Well, you'll call me up and let me know that you decided to run.
You'll be the first on the speed dial.
All right. Promise. Okay. No. So how do you look around now and you see what's happening, and you see who's leading on the Republican side, and you see Bernie Sanders' popularity on the Democrat side, and what does that tell you?
Well, you know what? I think most Americans, you got the left, you got the right. I don't think Americans are left or right. I think Americans want to move forward, and with regard to Trump, I get it. The notion that, look, this is what I did in New Mexico, having run for governor, never been involved in politics before. The promise was to bring a common sense business approach to state government. Well, I kind of think that that's Trump's pitch, and clearly voters don't want any more of the same. And I, like I say, served as governor of New Mexico under that same pretext. In a state that was 2-to-1 Democrat, I actually got reelected as a Republican, being a penny pincher.
Could you see I mean, I know you want to run as a Libertarian, and if not, you'll support, I presume, the Libertarian candidate. But could you see a President Donald Trump happening?
Well, you know what? I like the lure. I like the notion, but what he has to say, for example, on immigration, I don't agree with at all. As a border state, it's a crazy notion to me to build a fence across the border.
Well, what would you like to do? Just let everybody come in?
No, I think we could set up a system where it would be easy to get a work visa, and a work visa would entail a background check and a social security
people would have to stop coming across the border illegally on their own goodwill.
If we create a moving line, I think that they will stand in line, and then so much of that illegal crossing has to do with prohibition of drugs, and so much of that illegal crossing has to do with the fact that you can't get into the you can't get a work visa currently. You can't get a green card. You can't get a way in to get the jobs that do exist, so they come across illegally.
Has the climate in America changed so much from the last time you ran that if you were the nominee that you would get more than 1%? I mean, you can't truly believe that you would win the presidential election, do you? Could you?
Well, if the resources were made available, I mean, that's the belief, yes. If you were actually to garner enough money to compete, and now I'm not talking about 1,000th the amount of money of Obama and Romney going back to 2012, right. But you know what, Steve, what would happen with 6% of that same amount of money? Could you leverage that and actually make that happen? And of course, politics is about money. first, second, last. It's money.
When you see what's happening in the country today, for instance, you just heard you're closest to a libertarian that there is, I guess, running in as a Republican. Why do you think that that he's not resonating? Why do you think that he's struggling so much in the polls?
Well, I think he's kind of abandoned what his father was saying. Not that he's abandoned, but he hasn't done a good job of communication. And speaking generally, libertarians are fiscally very conservative and socially liberal. The definition of a classic liberal. I'm a classic liberal.
And you're here to speak at Liberty Fest in New York City.
Here to speak at Liberty Fest in New York City, which I did last.
Libertarian, or just?
It's not being labeled libertarian. It's being, there are a lot of anarchists there, and I don't fall in the anarchy category. I do think that government.
You don't like anarchists, do you?
Well, I sure, the notion of...
You do like them?
Well, by like them, you have to like the notion that you could actually live without government. Do I think it's possible? I don't think it's possible.
What about the violence and destruction that they often participate in?
You know, that's a real misconception, Steve, that anarchists are anything but that.
Really?
Yeah.
So the people who call themselves anarchists and break windows and destroy property, they're not really anarchists?
Well, I had that same impression. I had that same impression that that's what anarchy was about. Well, it's not. It's very peaceful.
Are you an anarchist?
No, I'm not.
Okay.
I'm a libertarian.
Just want to get it straight. Good luck. Let me know when you're running. All right, folks. So we're coming back, the Malzberg panel. But first, with Dr. Ben Carson and Donald Trump neck and neck, we want to know who your candidate is for 2016. Go to newsmaxpolls.com, newsmaxpolls.com.